When Buffalo beat Kansas City as badly as they did, Mahomes threw 2 interceptions and Pringle fumbled the ball. And that's what it took to beat the Chiefs at Arrowhead. That is not the Chiefs team that is on the field right now. The Chiefs also, a very underrated move that they made was getting Melvin Ingram. Melvin Ingram is not putting up gaudy stats. I think he's only about 20 or 30 tackles for the season, and he's got a half a sack, but his presence is creating holes for some of the other defensive players. So this game, I can't. I can't make the pick. The Chiefs are a favorite, and if you look at where the action is, there's a lot of public action on Buffalo. The Chiefs at home in the playoffs. I mean, if I say the Chiefs -2, take the Chiefs, you guys are going to call me a homer and form your own opinions. But this is just a different Chiefs team than what we saw a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. It was beginning of the year. Remember, betting against the Chiefs was easy money, but they kicked it in right about halfway. I mean, it really, I'm looking, right? You got 3, 4, 7. They were 7 L's and 2, so we're 2-7. And then they ended the season 7-2 or 8-2. Whatever 17 equals. So, yeah, I mean, it was an incredible turnaround, no doubt about it. What about you, John?
Tough game. This is going to be, I think, just a great game to watch. Probably the game of the week here, the playoffs. I think going into KC is always tough. You're playing Patrick Mahomes. You're playing, Tyreek Hill. You're playing Kelsey. I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills here. I was circling the wagon with them last year, and KC kind of ruined that festivity. So I'm going against my brother-in-law again. We're gonna play for another steak dinner.
Yeah.
Hopefully this year I get to eat it. But we'll see how that works out. Yeah, but I'm probably, other than that, I'm not really gonna put any money on this game. Maybe some in-game opportunities either way, depending on how the first 5 to 7 minutes goes. I'm just going to sit back and watch and enjoy. And I think we're going to see a very good game against 2 very good teams and 2 very great quarterbacks here.
Yeah, I mean, the game that Josh Allen played last week was literally what you see in high school or even college. It was just an amazing performance. I told somebody it was like at the family reunion when the uncle plays with the nephews and the uncle's pretty good. He's still pretty young. He was just running over people and he just dominated that game. And you mentioned Melvin Ingram. Well, he's a good football player. And, the Rams did that when they picked up the guy from Denver. The bottom line is when you have an extra good defensive player on your team, he may not get the stats, but the team stats go down. They get better. And that's really a key element of this game is will they be able to stop that kid? Because if that's Patrick Mahomes with the 3rd and 17s, right? And scampering for 19. That's what
it's 3rd and Mahomes boy.
Yeah, it totally changes the game. There's no doubt about it. So it's really going to be interesting. I am going to throw a stat out here that I mentioned earlier on the other show, and it's a 13-2 stat. In the Kansas City Chiefs' last 15 playoff games, 15 playoff games. So that's a few years now. In the second half, they are 13-2.
Wow,
that's amazing, isn't it?
That is amazing.
They've got a lot of those are at home. You got to assume, right? I didn't break it down by home and away, but
so
I would imagine.
Interesting. Patrick Mahomes says the only road playoff games he's played have been Super Bowls
because they were the number 1 seed almost every time.
They were number 1 every time.
They were 1 or 2, or they were 2 and 1 loss. But he's only been on the road in a Super Bowl. And if they somehow were to win this game this weekend, and John and I are correct about Cincinnati, he would not see a road home playoff game for a long time.
So if the NFC championship is in Kansas City, Tennessee would have to lose, right? You would go to that game, right?
Oh, there's no question. Yeah. I mean, there's no question. I mean, those are the biggest games in Chiefs history. I mean, you can match them, but you can't exceed a game that sends them to the Super Bowl. I highly doubt that we're ever going to see a Super Bowl in February in the Midwest.
In Kansas City?
Yeah. No, exactly.